The following contains extremely explicit content and is for mature audiences only. All characters and personalities are used for parody purposes.
It's his house. He can turn on.
There's more. You can have one.
What do they taste like?
Alright, strawberry.
Tastes like happy.
There's also beer in there.
That's wine.
It is.
I don't drink wine.
Who's cooler? Wine cooler. But now Jimmy's cooler.
It's like a middle.
Is it Boone's Farm?
BJ?
Oh my god, Boone's Farm. I drink so much of that.
Boone's Farm.
Quiet!
Thing.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Alright.
Oh, hi. Compity Frog here at this delightful all-night truck stop. I know what you're thinking, so let me tell you from the get-go that I am not Kermit. He's actually a blood, but not semen, relation of mine. Did my name used to be something else? Well, yes, but that was quite a long time ago. You see, when Kermit struck out for Hollywood, I shared that same dream as he and actually learned to speak to humans the same time he did. What the papers will not tell you is that he paid quite a price to become the lovable icon you all know and love. Do you know what that price was? All of my slimy, supple green orifices to the highest bidder. I knew it was a bad idea to use the bathroom at Frankie's Felching Fiesta, but you know how your first whiskey sour always makes you pass out shortly after. When I came to, I found myself bound to a sticky leather sling and some gentleman's testicles tickling my chin. What had happened, you ask? Well, apparently this guy said he could make one talking frog a star in showbiz, but only if he could make the other one a star in his studio basement. I was told later that Kermit insisted that I had no gag reflex and hungered for staying as wet as possible without being underwater, which led me to waking up hours later for my first official teabagging. Did it stop there? Oh no. Before I knew it, I was servicing men and women of all types, including some folks you may know today. Let's see. Well, there was the fated day that I met the little sadist herself that most folks refer to as Miss Piggy. Turns out that her beau Kermie couldn't always handle her nymphomaniac tendencies and insatiable lust for barbed strap-ons. So it was I, Compity Frog, that became the constant recipient of 20-inch double dongs and karate kicks to the inner nads. Since he couldn't be bruised or marred due to his stardom, whenever he made her angry, she took a special liking to saying, "I love you," by stuffing me full of her bone-in pork chops with no applesauce as lube. Then there was Fozzie and Bobo that would always bring with them a bunch of muscled hairy gents they referred to as their bears. Man, I learned so much about the great outdoors from all of the sticks and pine cones they shoved inside my puckered green eye. Although they never did answer me why they called it bareback all of the times they entered me from the front. Peculiar. There was also Rolf, who decided my anus made the best place to bury his bones and broken piano keys. In fact, on several occasions he told me it was time to tickle the ivories from within my pickled prostate until I passed out. Oh, those merry melodies. Speaking of musicians, there was one that could be goaded into any sexual act with me as long as he had a cheering audience. You name it, Animal did it with gusto. Have you ever had someone play a drum solo on your genitals? Or perform Wipeout with a tsunami of your own urine they collected for months? I'll always think of those as the golden years. That's not to say that I didn't have any other famous or favorite moments during my tenure as a jade jizz junkie. Do you want to know how the term gonzo pornography got its start? Let's just say that a few films of up-close 10-inch nose penetration got out, and it was an immediate success. Not mentioning that he often left me backed up with blue spunk for days. Oops. Anyways, after complaining about several inevitable maladies such as anal fissures, crabs, and whiplash, I found myself making acquaintances with Bunsen, who promised me some free relief. Turns out he and his partner, Beaker, had been crafting various oils, pills, and nooses to help with all of my accumulated woes. Surely, there had to be some type of payment involved for this. But Bunsen merely said all he needed was to watch Beaker cure me, while he sat in the corner and conducted research, with his pants down, and 2 fingers inside of himself. Around this time, I decided that enough is enough and I needed to get out of this dungeon no matter what it took. Fortunately, my cum-glazed vocal screams for help were starting to be noticed from the children's show live taping above, so they started sending down one of Animal's bandmates with a penchant for carrying and supplying mood-altering drugs. She'd get quite a kick out of shoving pills and liquids down my throat and watching me react wildly. Well, as wildly as one can be with bound arms and legs. There was that one time where she only had weed and thought she'd try to get me high with her patented pot queefs, and actually ended up dousing me with one gigantic squirt on accident before passing out. I used the newfound juices to finally slip my binds and used the convenient tunnel in the room to escape through the sewers. Now that I'm free of that abysmal abode, shouldn't I be contacting the police? My family? I've been thinking about my escape for years, wishing to be away from the horrors I'd endured. But, you know what? I miss the sex, the gangbangs, the baby batter blown on my viridescent skin. Well, looks like I'll have to show this world what a sex fiend named Cumpithy Frog does best. So, how about a Cleveland steamer, Father Smith?
And I'm spent.
Me too.
Wendy, now you know what you're missing from Dirty Story now.
Oh, God.
Wendy's face is just as good as watching Virgil's reaction.
Hot quiz.
Oh my god, I
Best
know Virgil.
story so far.
Hot